Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Ryan, you might be on mute on the WebEx.
It did, thank you. Hello, and thank you for joining us for the BPM Change Management PRR monthly meeting. My name is Ryan Ayer, representing the Customer Readiness team here at the ISO, and I will be facilitating today's web conference. Today's call is being recorded. These recordings are for informational and convenience purposes only. Any transcriptions should not be reprinted without the ISO's permission. As a reminder, these monthly calls are structured to stimulate an honest dialogue and engage different perspectives. While we welcome comments and questions, please remember to keep the comments professional and respectful. Speakers will present their respective PRRs, then pause for questions. If you are dialed in by phone only and not on the WebEx, you can enter the question queue at any time by pressing #2 on your telephone keypad. If you are connected audio through the WebEx platform, please use the raise hand feature located above the chat box on the lower right-hand side of your screen. And please introduce yourself before asking your question. If you need technical assistance during the call today, please send a chat message to the event producer. The purpose of today's meeting is to discuss the proposed revision requests that are in the initial or recommendation stage of the process. And today we'll be discussing 4 PRRs. 1 is in the initial stage and 3 are in the recommendation stage, and all PRRs were submitted by the ISO. The purpose of BPMs is to set forth business practices that implement the ISO tariff. The ISO conducts a yearly policy initiative roadmap process to consider and rank initiatives, and policy changes submitted through the PRR process will be referred to the policy initiative roadmap process. Each subject area in a BPM is based on enabling language in the ISO tariff, and the PRR process cannot be used to introduce changes that are not supported by the existing tariff authority. Before we jump in to discuss the active PRRs for this month, we do have a quick update to share. The California ISO is drafting a new BPM, Resource Interconnection Standards, and this BPM will contain implementation requirements for both small and large generating facility interconnections to the CAISO controlled grid. The Resource Interconnection Standards applies to interconnection requests that are either assigned to Q Cluster 15 and subsequent Q clusters, or submitted for the fast track process after the Resource Interconnection Standards are effective. This message is intended for informational purposes only, and if you have any questions, comments, or concerns related to this BPM, please email us at bpm_cm@caiso.com. The first PRR that we'll be discussing is for market instruments, PRR number 1574, which is in the recommendation stage. Nicole will be covering for this slide, and I'll go ahead and pass it over to you, Nicole.
Thanks, Ryan. So yes, I will be presenting the PRRs today. Happy to take down any questions or comments that we need to for these PRRs. So PRR 1574 is in the recommendation stage, and it's to describe new CMRI reports that displays the RTPD shutdown instructions and that are binding or advisory. We did not receive any recommendation comments, and the comment period expired on July 17th. The next step is to post the final decision. And as a note, this PRR was changed from a regular PRR to an emergency to support a target date of July 17th, 2024 for production. And the reason it was changed to emergency is just because it was going to be effective prior to the end of the 2-month PRR process. Are there any questions? All right. The next BPM is going to be market operations, PRR 1577 in the initial stage for 3 unrelated corrections and clarifications. So the reason for this PRR is we had to make some corrections to the market operations BPM, which included RDRR clear out economic hourly block bids that are not eligible for bid cost recovery. We did have a typo and an error where the minimum effectiveness threshold should be 0.2%, and we mistakenly had it at 2%. So we wanted to call that out and make that correction. And the third correction we wanted to make is for NRGs with resource adequacy capacity that do not use regulation energy, do not have a requirement to submit the $0 megawatt availability bids in the RUC. The initial comment period closed on July 17th, and the next step would be to post the recommendation. Any questions on this PRR? Okay. Moving on, the next VPM will be the Energy Imbalance Market. PRR 1573 is in the recommendation stage for clarification to the ISO AET opt-in determination and opt-in process. These changes include formula enhancements to the determination for AET opt-in and the WEIM opt-in requirements. The effective date for this is June 1st, 2024. We did not receive any comments. The comment period closed on July 17th, and the next step is to post the final decision. Are there any questions on this PRR? All right, moving along to the next one for the definitions and acronyms BPM. PRR 1575 is in the recommendation stage. And this PRR is to notify and get any feedback as that we are going to be declassifying the VPM for this particular topic. It is going to still be on our website as a convenience copy. All of the current definitions and acronyms will be defined in their respective VPMs as well as the tariff. So we're reclassifying this VPM as a supporting document. That way we'll be able to update it in a more timely fashion and keep it up to date as time allows. We did not receive any recommendation comments. The comment period expired on July 17th, and the next step is to post the final decision. Are there any comments, questions on this PRR?
There are no questions, Nicole. Thank you. The next BPM monthly meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, August 20th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can email us at bpm_cm@kaiso.com. And that concludes our meeting for today. Thank you.